Dota's 7.38 Wandering Waters update brought a slew of much needed changes to the game, many of which involved the map and the objectives to contest. A large chunk of the map changes revolved around removing high ground ward spots and adding trees to help obscure vision and make obtaining said vision much harder. This has made heroes that provide vision such as Night Stalker high priority in the meta, and with the nearly 4,000 gold swing that taking Tormentor provides, any hero able to take it quickly and efficiently is incredible value. What if there was a hero that was able to do both? Someone able to give oppressive vision around the map while also applying pressure to any objective of your choice. Let me refresh your memory on Dota's favorite investigative journalist, Templar Assassin. TA had a rough start to the 7.38 patches, with a multitude of nerfs including to the early Psyblade levels and her talents, along with a bug that made it so she could not apply her patented double meld strike onto a target. TA had one of the worst win rates of the new patch. This is all changed with 7.38C, where she received one of the biggest buffs in a long time. TA not only got a cooldown reduction to her refraction from 16 seconds to 14 seconds, but she also had the number of instances on refraction increased by 1 at every level of the ability. While this may not seem like a big deal at first glance, combining this with her refractor facet allows for 12 plus 88 damage hits as early as level 7, and with her reshuffling of talents, that number goes up to plus 120 damage for 12 auto attacks, which is insane scaling. Combined with a bug fix to the previously mentioned double meld and an increase in her 25 talent to adding plus 4 refractions allowing for better late game scaling, and you have a hero that jumped from 44% win rate, the third lowest in the game, up to 49%. Not only that, but the hero ended up moving to first phase ban material in the later stages of the Dream League Season 26 qualifiers, with most every team opting to take the hero off the board. Templar in recent years has leaned more towards a carry hero, farming her patented Dragonlance Desolator blink timings quickly and using that power spike to dominate objectives around the map. However, I want to make a case for the hero in the role she predominantly was in for most of her Dota 2 life, mid lane. If played well, TA is a hero that can win her lane and suffocate a lot of the map for her opposing mid lane matchup, as well as providing insane objective pressure and good scaling into the late game if the game drags on. There are two replays that I want to focus on to highlight a lot of the utility that the hero can provide in a draft: Supreme's perspective in Team Secret's game versus Fortnite Man's Bikini Bottom Stack, and Makoto's perspective in Talon's game versus Trailer Park Boys. While this video will be focusing on the hero from a mid lane perspective, many of the tips can be applied to safe lane Templar as well, so sit back and enjoy unraveling the secrets of Templar Assassin.
May I be worthy of these mysteries.
In this lane matchup, Supreme is against Queen of Pain, a pretty common and powerful mid lane hero in this patch. Quap is notoriously pretty mediocre in a TA. Her Shadow Dagger does not proc the Templar refraction very quickly, and TA is able to negate a lot of her harass with the refraction shield. To start, Supreme levels Sideblades. In a range v range situation like this one, it is much better to take the points in Sideblades to put the pressure on the enemy mid laner as you get CS. You can see that Supreme uses the ability to full purpose, clicking down enemy creeps such that he is always slightly pushing while harassing Quap and applying pressure to her. Wagga has a really good guide on the mechanics of how Sideblades work, which I will be linking in the description of this video. But essentially, Sideblades draws a line from where you're positioned when the projectile hits and cleaves all units behind the initial target. There's a small gray zone shaped like a cone for this, so you don't have to be straight onto someone, which makes it so the closer you are to the initial target, the more influence you have on the cleave path. This is why we see Supreme right up to the wave a lot of the time, mirroring Quap's pathing and scoring free harass on his last hits. At 5:30, around the same time Supreme hits level 6 and gets his ultimate, he ferries out a sentry ward and dewards the opposing sentry. This is vital the higher you climb, as you want to make sure that the traps you place in the mid lane do not get removed. These provide vital harass and kill opportunities, as we see onto the CM that rotated for 6-minute rune. With both supports rotating mid and taking the tower, this really allows TA to put on the pressure. They steal away multi-stack camps from the triangle, crippling the potential net worth of the Radiant side, and TA steals camps from the Quap to continue to make her fall further behind and force her into awkward moves. Because of the great game that he's having, and because his side lanes are frankly not doing so hot, Supreme opts for a Dragonlance first item, choosing to increase his farm speed rather than go straight blink and potentially gamble his net worth away. With this, he opts to take the big triangle stacks made for him, and I want to really observe his farming techniques here. Supreme lays a trap and pulls the camp out, popping it when a majority of the creeps are in the AoE. From there, he prioritizes the closest creeps to him, using A-clicks on the ground to do so. This allows him to guarantee his Sideblade attacks cleave as many creeps as possible while also maintaining his health. Techniques like this are crucial to farming on the hero, and will speed up your clear times and allow for faster camp clears and quicker item timings. Because TA can farm so quickly, the name of the game for her is efficiency, making sure that you're not only farming in the right spots, but also employing tactics like these to take the camps as soon as possible. And while you most likely won't have supports that stack this much for you, you can stack for yourself and do the same thing, as we see Supreme do a little bit later. After he farms up his Blink Dagger, a super important timing for the hero, Supreme continues to apply pressure on the map, farming enemy camps while also looking for pickoffs with aggressive traps placed. And after a middling skirmish that provides a slight advantage to Team Secret, they find their entry into the game off of the TA Blink Dagger. A lot of the strength of the item on TA comes from Blink's interactions with shields. It does not go on cooldown until the health bar of the hero is affected. So while it is a shield rune that bails out Supreme here, the interaction remains the same with the refraction charges. You have a long buffer to blink away, providing insane mobility on the hero. From this momentum, they take Tormentor, again highlighting the ease TA takes the objective, especially with a hero like Slardar, and Secret has full control of this game. I want to highlight just how absurd the vision of TA traps are. With the Axe Shard, they have an increased vision radius of 525, up from the 400 they normally provide. For reference, at nighttime, most heroes have a vision radius of 800. The regular treants from Nature's Prophet have a vision radius of 500 at all times, and she gets 15 of these traps at max level with the Shard. It is absolutely insane vision on the map, and a huge part of what makes the hero so scary when she's ahead. If placed correctly, like Supreme has here, it chokes off so much of the map from the enemy, as if they show on any of these traps, it is very easy to bring heroes and gank them. It's because of this vision superiority that Bikini Bottom plays so defensively, leading to an easy roach for Secret and complete map control. And it's really only due to a failed high ground push that this game is extended for so long. While this may be reminiscent of many of y'all's pubs, mine included, TA is a hero that does not mind at all scaling into the late game. Supreme opts for Nullifier in this case because of all the defensive items on the enemy team, but there are a plethora of options to go for, including Daedalus for one-shot potential, Scythe for lockdown, Butterfly for evasion, MKB for evasion pierce, Arcane or Swift Blink for more mobility, or even Revenant's Burst to deal with super amounts of armor later in the game. Because of the failed high ground push, Secret waits, eking out net worth and waiting for their moment to strike and close the game. That moment comes around the 33-minute mark, after a lot of dodging and even a roach deal by Bikini Bottom. This admittedly lopsided teamfight demonstrates the mentality Supreme has in teamfights. Focus low armor heroes that he knows he can 3 or 4 shot rather than wasting time on high armor tanky boys like Sven. The beauty of TA mid is you have another damage dealer to take on the enemy carry, allowing you to play the role of skirmisher, looking for easy kills that can give your team the numbers advantage in the fight. And yes, because it's Team Secret, the game drags on another 10 minutes, but this game is a great example of how you can slowly apply pressure and make the enemy play on the back foot.
Another scale of ignorance shed.
If last game involved slow and methodical pressure, Talent executes that to a T this game, showing the power of TA when all 3 lanes get an advantage. Makoto this game is versus the Ember Spirit in lane. The Ember Spirit TA matchup used to be closer for Ember when you could burn the refraction charges faster, but because of the change to refraction requiring at least 30 damage before burning a shield charge, it has become much more lopsided. Makoto executes the same lane aggro and movement mirroring we saw from Supreme last game, and that is pretty standard from the top TA players. He takes 2 points in Psyblade rather than Meld, however, which may seem counterintuitive given Ember is a melee hero. But because Chuan begins to opt for a much more defensive slight-based gameplay style, the extra range from the second point of Psyblades gets more value than the Meld point. However, because he is versus a melee mid laner, Makoto is able to get a lot more direct auto attacks onto Chuan, leading to a heavy last hit and deny advantage at 5 minutes for the Templar Assassin. And armed with level 6 and a sentry ward, Makoto has full control over the mid lane. Notice what he does with his advantage in this game. Rather than full force the mid tower and risk supports rotating and killing him, Makoto plays the efficiency game, farming the 2 camps behind his tower quickly with the use of Psyblades and traps. There are no rotations by him, no force plays onto the Ember Spirit, only simple farming patterns and working towards his first timing. When you look at the scoreline and see the other lanes are also destroying, it gives you an indication that you can take the game slower and focus on your own macro. If the enemy mid laner ganks the other lanes and you're needed, you can TP respawn and punish accordingly. But with how badly the game is going for Trailer Park Boys, Ember really never gets the chance. The first opportunity Makoto chooses to force an objective is the 10-minute catapult timing. He pings the tower and requests a rotation, and together with CM, they take the tower with the catapult damage. From there, it's a rinse repeat of game 1, stealing away enemy camps to accelerate his game and deny the enemy team farm. And because his team is giga owning this game, Makoto opts for the Desolator first, which allows him to really put on the pressure on the map objectives and begin to close out the game. And honestly, this is how they win this game. Not through massive pickoff after pickoff, but through easy and natural map progressions. They take the Tormentor at 15 minutes, with only 3 needed mind you. They pressure towers until they feel comfortable, then they take Roche when they feel like they have the map control. All of this is facilitated by both the early Desolator picked up by Makoto, but also the insane vision control that the TA traps are providing. And when they take the one and only teamfight this game, it feels like an inevitability rather than a risk taken by Talon. They've built up such an advantage so quickly that there's not a lot Trailer Park Boys can do to stop it. This fight demonstrates the perfect way to play TA and team fights. Take it slow, let others initiate, and look for the easy kills like we talked about in game 1. You don't want to waste Blink trying to start for an over-ambitious kill. The item provides your only mobility, so when it's down, you're the #1 target teams are looking to focus. Play it slow, find your moment, and embrace the Assassin title. You're not a hyper-mobility hero like Stormer Puck. Makoto finds his moments in this fight, leading to the outer towers and the eventual loss for Trailer Park Boys. The TA traps let Talon play so methodically. They had great vision on the potential comeback moves that Trailer Park Boys could have made, and made the map too difficult to come back from after a rough early game. And in a patch where vision is harder than ever to come by, and more important than ever with the strength of the map objectives, Templar Assassin thrives, making her one of the best heroes to choose when making your own rank climb. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you. The meta is fresh and fluctuating, and I intend to make more videos about the potential meta breakers as well as the dominant forces in the mid lane. So if that interests you, consider liking the video or subscribing if you want more mid lane focused content. Thank you so much again. I really do appreciate everyone's support, and I cannot wait to start to make the next one. Goodbye for now.